Yo, 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 it's your boy Jacob. I'm just here to address the allegations. I know. Don't you love it when a video starts out like that? Real juicy. Before you, you'll see court file 50CV181795, a harassment case. This is an order granting harassment restraining order after hearing. We spent an entire day, like several hours, in a courtroom for this hearing against Jeff Brinkman, the same Jeff Brinkman that owns Superior Cannabis and whose son I had to file a police report against, Nathan Brinkman, recently, and also Abby Brinkman, his daughter, for their wanton harassment of me. You'll notice that this matter was heard in court on October 23rd, 2018, nearly a decade ago. Why are we bringing it up today in 2025? Well, that is simple. Because they're still harassing me. Here are the findings. Jeff sent copies of transcripts and other documents related to my criminal court proceedings to myself, my employer, and my attorney. I testified that I was terrified to receive these documents from my criminal file from Jeff. Jeff threatened to publicly disclose my criminal history unless he received money from my employer. Jeff falsely referred to me as a convicted sex offender on social media. Everyone harassing me might want to pay attention to that part when they say that I can't take legal action against them. I was contacted by a friend regarding Jeff's social media post, and 5 of my friends were in court that day against Jeff. I testified that Jeff also sent the transcript of my criminal court proceedings to an individual who posted it online in a social media group. I testified that the members of the public became aware of the post, and now in modern day, places like Alpha News and the Albert Lee Tribune have also mimed this defamatory and harassing language that all originated with Jeff. Based on our findings, I believe personally that Jeff Brinkman abused his relationships at the Mower County Courthouse through people like Brandyberg Halsey to illegally obtain the transcripts from this criminal file to extort me for money, as listed here. Who does that? In this court hearing, I told the judge that I had never met or known Jeff Brinkman before in my entire life. I mentioned that the first time I had ever met this man and been in the same room as him was on the day of the court hearing. And the restraining order stayed in effect for quite a long time. October 23rd, 2020. As you can see here, it was signed by Judge Kevin Siefkin. Now, what's interesting about this is the real motive here is shown that he wanted money from my employer. My employer also had a restraining order against Jeff for other harassment. And it doesn't just stick with Jeff. His child, Nathan Brinkman, was at one point convicted for a felony assault, which was eventually scrubbed from his record magically. But you can still find it online if you know how to search for it, or if you know how to search for any of the other cases where Jeff has frivolously been found to have sued people and been ruled to pay their legal fees. So I want to make it clear. I'm not a convicted sex offender. And what happened is I was dating a lifelong friend of mine who we'd both known each other since we were children. A 3 or 4 year age gap does not make someone a chomo or a pedophile. In fact, that means other people are sexualizing me and my ex-girlfriend as children, when all we wanted to do is talk about our day in school and play Minecraft with her family, mind you. And eventually in high school, after we had both been dating other people, did we then break up with them and date each other. So no, nothing was malicious or perverted, like Jeff Brinkman wants you to believe. The reality of the matter is, my ex-girlfriend at the time, I believed, was living in an abusive household, so she had the idea to come to Minnesota and leave her state and try to seek emancipation. Now, if you're smart enough to know that not all laws are good and not all that is good is legal, just like smoking weed used to be illegal, fun fact, and you did it anyways, you could probably understand that my trying to help my ex-girlfriend get away from what I believe to be an abusive household is something that really shouldn't have been a crime. A 3 and 4 year age gap, depending on the time of the year, again, does not make someone a pedophile. I wasn't even old enough to drink. And we all know your brain isn't fully developed until you're 25. In fact, I support raising the age of majority to like 21. And if I really need to say it, I love them curvy with big yitties. So that's the literal opposite of a prepubescent body. I don't know why I need to hold people's hands to explain this, but somehow Jeff Brinkman and his gang have convinced all these people that I am some monster, when Jeff Brinkman wants to distract from the fact that it is his own son that was at one point a convicted felon for assault. Did the person he assaulted give consent to be assaulted? Of course not. But my girlfriend told the police at the time that this was all her idea. I didn't hurt her, nothing was malicious, and everything was with consent. So if you're going to paint me out to be something I am not, well, it sounds like you're just kind of bitter, jealous, racist, or stupid, or a combination of all of the above. Now you have the facts. I appreciate everyone's time. Please leave me alone. And if you get curious, I already went ahead and asked my ex-girlfriend's family what they thought about this, and the ones I spoke to made it clear that they consider this a private family matter and that not a single journalist or member of the public has ever asked them for their consent about posting about this or talking about it. So no, you not only do not have my consent as a brown man, but you do not have her consent as a woman. So it's interesting that consent doesn't matter when people just want to go off the cuff and just harass people. Consent should always matter. And this is just bullshit. These rumors all started with one man. And this man, I believe, has a major conflict of interest because I worked for his ex-best friend who also had a restraining order against him, and I'm also in a cannabis business that would be naturally seen as his competitor to his failed cannabis business. All my opinions, but it's mighty convenient that it's been nearly 10 years from this original instance, and now magically I get my state cannabis license, and all of these rumors magically pop up again. And now the media has spun them into lunacy. They try to bring up an old probation violation for this charge. Do you want to know why I violated my probation? It was because I couldn't pass a drug test for smoking cannabis. The second I turned 21, because remember, that's how young I was during all of this, I got my medical card. And you want to know what happened? The judge, Krista Daly, told me in court that she didn't believe I deserved that medical card. The prosecutor for the city of Austin, Minnesota, literally defended me and told the judge on the stand that I did not violate my probation and that I had done nothing wrong. Becky Ferdine, my probation officer, also said on the record that I did not violate my probation or do anything wrong. Jeff Brinkman personally knew Krista Daly, the judge, and perverted her and twisted her objectable or ability to see things objectionably, just like Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings. The second I got this restraining order against Jeff, that judge disappeared. And I have no ill will against that judge, but I certainly have a confusing relationship with Jeff Brinkman and his family, because Jeff was also an appearance at another court matter on my behalf. So it's pretty convenient that he's my friend when he wants to be, and he's my enemy when he wants to be, whenever it suits him. The dude cannot pick a lane unless it's literally just tearing down anyone and everyone that I believe stands in his way. Again, all of these are my opinions. I'm just some dumbass who knows nothing. But I know that I'm not a pedophile, and I know for a fact that I was never tried or convicted of a sexual crime, as stated by a judge in this transcript. So read it and weep, and please, feel free to share this with anyone and everyone. I have nothing to hide because I'm not a fucking pedophile. Crazy, mind-blowing thought. I know. I'm really sorry if I sound really annoyed, but I have been defamed ruthlessly and been receiving death threats endlessly for months now. And I don't deserve that because no one the fuck cares. Everyone involved in this matter, the actual criminal matter of my past, has moved on. All of us don't care. I'm friends with my ex-girlfriend's ex-boyfriend still to this day. I'm still part of the same friend groups we had 9, 10 plus years ago when I was a minor myself, mind you. And all of us have moved on. I don't even think my ex-girlfriend's parents are probably the same as they were 9 years ago, as much as I am not a dumb kid like I was 9 years ago. Crazy thought. I know. People change. People grow. People make mistakes in their young adult life because you don't magically turn 18 and know everything the next day. You still have to fuck up and find out and learn the hard way. But the good news is I have learned and I value my community. I have worked on numerous nonprofit charitable efforts with my friends, from spending months cleaning up a boat landings, all with our own money, to spending days painting over graffiti in a walkway tunnel, all with our own money, to helping restore a local monument, to giving away clothing to indignant people without recognition. But no. Let's ignore the fact that I've had to work with the police, the sheriff, the DNR for some of that stuff, and other nonprofit local groups and government agencies. Let's ignore all the help I tried to do when it came to legalizing weed. Yeah, let's just conveniently treat a brown man with prejudice and not get his side of anything and act like you're entitled to just be a jackass to me, my family, and my loved ones. We don't deserve to live in fear and feel unsafe because the dumbasses of my society couldn't take 2 seconds to actually ask me any questions before trying to lynch mob my ass. Rant over. Don't forget to like, sub, and follow, or whatever on any social media. You know how it goes. Goodbye.